I've done in my life was Cape Epic. We finished 5th, myself and Manuel Fumic. Just ride bikes. Actually riding e-bikes, it is riding bikes.
We're in stereo now. Woohoo! Alright, yeah, we're both in the shot. We're both far away from each other, which is good. I've been working with Aurelio Fontana, who's basically a god on a bike. He's wearing a Redbull helmet. This is my video. I can say what I like about people.
È vero, è vero, è vero. Può dire quello che vuole.
He has a bronze medal from the 2012 London Olympics. Now let's think about that for a moment. How many years preparation to get to that?
Well, I've been competing really in 3 Olympics, and everyone was a bit different. So, you know, the real preparation of the Olympic Games actually starts in the last year of racing. Every 4 years you just like put a flag after a while, you know, you're like, okay, in 2012 I select to myself, I want to do Rio in 2016, and that's what I did. I had mechanical issues and then didn't go as a plan, but the thing is you put a flag and then you follow your goal. But the real athletic preparation really starts over in the last year.
Now, I don't want to dwell too much on that. I want to know about your life now, okay? You're riding e-bike, you're probably feeding back about all the products that you're using all the time. You're doing fun racing, for what I understand.
Yeah, like life now is really, really good. I've been lucky enough to go racing everywhere on the planet for 20 years. 3 Olympics and lots of world champs and all that stuff. But now, you know, having no pressure in terms of racing and just like enjoying riding bikes. I ride lots of e-bikes really, because I really, really like it. But I do obviously ride lots of normal bikes too, like road biking a lot. And some mountain bike too, adventure stuff. I do testing products, and I do some fun racing though. Yeah, I race the e-enduro, the Italian format for MTB. I do race the EWSE, which is the electric format of the EWS, and it's so good. Like,
do you like it? You actually like it? Because I'm like, okay, I'll admit, I'm a little bit of a skeptic for electric bike racing.
Yeah.
I've never tried it, so I can't really have much of an opinion on it, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I'm coming from the outside. You've done all forms of racing. How is electric bike racing really? If you're saying this is how, what is it like?
EWS at the moment for e-bikes is the best format you can actually have. Like, it's so challenging, it's so physical, it's long, it's technical, it's like, it is unbelievable.
So it's a real race?
It is, absolutely. And actually the way they do it, it doesn't really change much in between engines, in between, you know, type of bikes. It's really about skills. All in all, if you think about e-bikes, just gives you the chance to show who's the most skilled rider. Obviously, engines play the game too, but it is really who is.
So it's a valid concept.
I believe, and I tell you what, people were in Zermatt for the first EWSE of the history. And how they were impressed on looking how fast we were going and how deep we were pushing. And
interesting.
I believe, enduro-wise, e-bikes are really, really, really good. In terms of racing and in terms of a whole real loop, you know, not climbing the tarmac and then descending the most technical.
So you're doing the full
loop is unbelievable, unbelievable. Okay. And obviously.
So what would you say to the skeptics at the moment then, who are out there who are like, you know, electric bike racing?
You know what? I don't say nothing. There's nothing to say. They just, you know, those people, they're like, oh, blah, 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 blah. In 6 months, they will be, blah, 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 blah. In 12 months, they will be blah. And in 18 months, they will have an e-bike and go racing or riding. So there's nothing to say, really.
I hadn't experienced it, so I can't know.
Giusto.
But obviously working in the industry, I know you guys know something, so I'm going to take your word for it, not just as something for saying for marketing, because you've got no gain to make from this. Can you explain to me how it's been transitioning from an Olympic famous high-end sportsman, just live, breathe, die for that medal, to now a normal family man, rider, fun, friends, bit of fun racing? Because you seem like a fun racer now.
Yeah,
so,
it
so,
is.
so can you give me an idea about that transition? How was that?
It was actually, I've been planning this for quite some time, and that's why it became smooth, you know. It wasn't like smooth if you put it on paper, but if you look at it now, it was sort of smooth, yeah. And before I had racing goals, so all you have in mind is you want to win that race, or you want to achieve that goal, you want to compete at the Olympics. But now I have different goals, you know, and my goals are reaching more people really, and telling how good riding bike is. In my head, I was like, okay, I've been always the guy, really, you were watching me racing, you were like, oh man, I want to do the same, you know, because I was...
It's just like a universal appreciation of you as a sportsman, let's say.
And the thing is, by staying there, I couldn't anymore, like, really giving, like, to people how cool riding mountain bike was. So I'm like, I need to stop doing this, and I need to do this in a different way, because racing is not enough. The racing business and world is so small. It's super cool and gives you some sort of opportunities, but it's small compared to the full. I want to create stuff, I want to create contents, I want to create adventures, I want to create stories. They go on social media, they go on TV, they go on magazines, and by doing that, I touch that people and say, like, folks, riding bikes is absolutely nuts.
A whole new world was discovered when we put the electric bike on the market and started selling. I mean, it's been there for 10 years, 5 years seriously, let's say.
My plan, my vision, it was there before e-bikes really came into the business in this way. My vision was on paper. I have all my papers at home, you know, all my way of doing these things, what I'm doing now, and e-bikes was not there. Yeah. And then when I really decided to move into something that was pretty much mine, into something which is creating my own vision, my own way of doing things, then I tried seriously an e-bike, and I'm like, damn, this is one of the things I need to use, one of the tools I need to use to promote my way of looking at mountain bikes and my joy of riding bikes.
It's pretty impressive. I mean, if you think about what we just did today, do you think this can change the world? Sorry, I had that question before.
This is a bit big as a sentence, but obviously this is a new way of really mountain biking. Exploring and go riding trails, yes, because then racing is different, you know, cross country and downhill will be always there, and actually being the benchmark of who's the fastest from A to B, you know, or who's the fastest to do that loop. But in terms of riding, the world is so big and you can do so many things. I live in Castellarquato, this beautiful village. Have you seen today?
Yeah, very beautiful.
You've seen today? And in the same spot, you live in the same spot, just in 2020 and on in 2015, you have more trails.
So you've been over there more times than you did before?
But actually, not there more time, but on a different way. But you just connect your rides in a different way. You live in Castellarquato, before you had 3 loops, now you have 5 or 6 or 8. And this is what changed the most.
Do you have a particular preference to a style of e-bike that you like?
Sounds strange, but I really like all of them. Like, obviously I'm sponsored by Focus, but I really like bikes. This is the thing. So when I ride the 130, I get the most of it, you know. Obviously, I don't like to ride the 130 on a downhill track or ride the 170 on a gravel road. Probably the 150 is the sweet spot. Maybe 150 with the 160 in the front is the sweet spot. Is the one you can really climb like a bike park and then descend the sketchiest, you know, running path you shouldn't be able to because it's forbidden, but you know what I mean? Good.
This is kind of an impromptu interview anyway, so Marco was very kind to let me chat to him and just
Well,
discuss.
he will tell you later how much he paid for it.
Yeah, yeah. But if you've got one message to the world of biking, what would it be right now?
Not connected to e-bikes or...
Just in general, just thinking something you really feel that is important for you to tell people about biking in general.
We need to build more climbing trails.
Build more climbing trails.
Yeah, because you know what? We all like descending, but climbing is so nice. And the more we have, the more climbing trails we'll have, the more descending trails we'll have. And all in all, we'll have more trails in general. When you have proper climbing trails, you're like, wow, it's so nice. And we never put effort on that. Well, I never put effort on any building trails, but anyway, you know what I mean.
All right, Marco. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the time, and I look forward to your next exploits.
Cheers, everyone.
Goodbye.
Ciao a tutti.
Ciao.